There's a little bit of magic in photographs. With a click of a button, we can capture a moment in time and keep it forever. At Rockbrook Camera, let their creative team help you transform these precious memories into unique holiday gifts to last a lifetime. Most people know Rockbrook Camera for their large selection of camera gear and expert photo advice, but they're also the area's best high-quality photo lab. Choose from a variety of gifts to personalize, such as their popular photo ornaments, high-quality canvas wraps, and photo mugs. With so many gift options ready to be personalized, it's easy to share a story, a moment, or a memory that's made to delight friends, family, or even yourself. Send joy through the mailbox with Rockbrook Camera's thoughtfully designed photo greeting cards, ready to pick up in 48 hours or less. Start creating today with help from Rockbrook Camera's friendly staff in-store or online in the convenience of your home. Visit Rockbrook Camera today, 1 block south of 168th and West Center in Omaha, 70th and Pioneers in Lincoln, or online at rockbrookcamera.com.
Shoutouts to my boys holding it down on the Cyclone. Episode 10 was pretty good for them, crossing that milestone. So it's safe to say that the Cyclone is here to stay in the J360 canon. I see nothing but greatness coming for that because football season's on the rise, and we all know we got a lot to talk about then. I'm sitting here working on all the computers and stuff to get ready for the next version of the power play. And let's see, the GOP Senate Bill. You know, I hope that is actually something beneficial, but I seriously doubt it. Matter of fact, I think it might be one of them things where the people who really need the healthcare are not going to get it, but the rich are going to get an essential tax break because they just don't like being taxed. They made too much money. They don't want no stipulations on each other. That's about as bad as the quote-unquote president sitting there saying that he doesn't want a poor man in his cabinet. I mean, damn if you pick somebody from the people that could actually give your administration some heart, right? So I guess I'm going to have to discuss this GOP insanity and the best way I know how for the 30th time. Welcome to the J-Man Show here on
J360 Radio.
Right now, new and current customers can get any phone for free at US Cellular, so you can connect with all your family members this holiday season. You can even call your aunt who always makes you talk to your cousin, who's a dog. Or, you know, maybe just send her a festive text. Get the gift of connection at US Cellular. Get any phone free today. US Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
We value human connection with fewer distractions. US Cellular, built for us. Visit your US Cellular authorized agent, Cellular Advantage, located at 918 South Locust Street in Glenwood.
Hey J360 Legion, welcome back to the J-Man Show. This is Jay, and guess what? We finally did it. We hit episode 30. Little did you realize that there were 2 milestones happening this week. What with the Cyclone and the J-Man Show and the power plays on the rise. You know, everything is coming together, and I'm proud of it. The rest of the team has high momentum. We even got a new person joining in with the group, and you know, everything's looking pretty good here, you know what I'm saying? But as much as I like to toot my own horn, there's some serious things going on out here in the world right now. In particular, let me ask you a couple of questions. Do you like your health? Do you want to maintain it? And if you're sick, would you like treatment for it? If you answered yes to any of these things, then this new healthcare bill is not for you. Looks like Incompetence Inc. has not only done more finger-pointing and victim-blaming regarding the Red Dawn Russia fiasco in our voting system, but it has also found a way to save the rich and damn everyone else. Now, I'm sure they have plenty of people out there brainwashed by saying how much of a disaster that the ACA is, and how much it burns a hole in your pocket. Hell, honestly, some of us waste our money due to selfish wants and other things that we don't necessarily need to buy. I'm not trying to pull a Chavez here and say, like, you shouldn't get your iPhone or anything. I'm talking about other things that you use that is wasteful. Communication is not wasteful. You kind of need that to function, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like, other things such as, like, you know, getting a tattoo that wouldn't look good on your skin, or, like, getting something that's just wasting time that you're never, ever going to keep any maintenance for. That's what I'm talking about. When you really think about it, some people don't respect their money, that's why they don't have any. And then some of us, we go through the scaffolds of life, gouge us every time, which also leads to us not having money. So, no, it's not just healthcare doing this sort of thing. All walks of life, remember that. We're not all in the same spectrum here, but we're all in this together. Put it that way. And I'm going to tell you this much. The way they keep finding excuses lets you realize what this is all about. It's not about making affordable health care for everybody. It's about making affordable health care for selective people and making sure that the rich get a nice, hefty tax cut. Because you see, the ability to buy health care in the new age is a lot easier. Sure, the system is crazy, but it's always been crazy. You see, back in the day, you could have a great benefits package along with reasonable hours from your job. And a full-time job wouldn't be such a dry hole like it is now. Certain jobs that require a lot of time aren't paying livable wages nowadays. And you may have to land a second job to keep things afloat when the first one just isn't providing enough. And of course, there is that little concept of bills, travel expenses to or between both jobs, and the fact that you could get sick, hurt, or wounded on the job, especially if it's a hazardous job, like construction, for instance. If that happened back in the day and you're valuable to your company, you would have the right care, you would have a lot of time off, and you would have a safety net to keep you there. You know what I mean? You would have a job to go back to. Not so much when the economic recession was in full swing. And it still kind of is if you consider what's going on out there near Washington, D.C. and pretty much everything now. The whole ecosystem is very warped at this point. And it's so bad, right, that package deals that you would get from a company, they took a back seat. You have to look into other institutions of your own so that you can get some form of stability. And even then, their chances are it wouldn't pay out right, or they wouldn't even consider you valuable if you aren't in the right income bracket, because that's what this is all about. This isn't about helping the American people. Oh, no. This is more about how, say, like if I'm a politician and I'm for this bill, this is about how much me and my friends can line our pockets up, whereas you just have to sit there with the grace of God and only hope you make it through every single day. You know, what with the rollback of Medicaid and Planned Parenthood, because that is really a conflict for them. Sad, isn't it? Like how we've gotten this far. Some people that I knew that weren't able to get Medicaid before the ACA, now that they have the ACA, they are able to have it and they use it properly. Some people are able to get care. Some people are able to get treatments. Some people are able to get where they need to go in order to have longevity. Some people are getting where they need to go so that they can go to work the next day while at the same time making sure that whatever condition that they have is well taken care of. But not so much in this new political climate. Fortunately, much like clean air and clean water, this is a problem for those people. This is a problem for people that won't take responsibility or be accountable, so much so that they went into the back room, not inviting the Democrats in, mind you. They went into the back room on their own, did this secret society crap, and started sitting there reading and writing, saying, oh gee, I wonder what we can do to make something more unconstitutional than Paul Ryan's pet project. Not to mention show that they don't give a damn. You see, the package that you would probably get, considering your income, it wouldn't be enough to aid you if you're in the hospital or in a car accident or suffering from an infection that you could get from work or on vacation at any time. And keep in mind, because certain science outlets are kind of locked up, you know, due to certain people that are in charge now, aka Incompetence Inc, we'll never get the information of what's floating around out there that could potentially kill us, because according to them, it doesn't exist. And talking about how many pages and papers that the original healthcare plan was written on. Like, that whole concept that Sean Spicer and Donald Trump had going on was just ridiculous. All that stuff was just nothing but pure, unadulterated lies. Like, when you sit there and you think about it, it's like, really, where the hell did this all come from? Well, honestly, jealousy and grudges. Because you see that more or less the 45th retrograde, ever since he went up there with Incompetence Inc, it's been pretty much repeal, roll back, destroy everything that the 44th administration have done to make them look like failures, or at the same time building a legacy for himself which screams failure all the time. Half-baked ideas, half-filled cabinet, and a bunch of people who are so delusional that their whole picture should be the graduating class photo for that word. We are living in a day and age, not only where respect is on the decline, not only where a livable wage is still doing a fighting chance, and not only the fact that your health care, the one thing that should be there that you want to put money into, is in the balance and can be rolled back at any time. Especially with the ideals of what the hell that bill is. And you see, it's not going to be done in one fatal swoop, mind you. It's going to be done in increments. Years upon years upon years with that thing in power, pretty much you, me, and anybody else that is playing the working game because we weren't born with silver spoons in our mouths, we're going to be sitting right there with no insurance and pretty much a liability in anything we do. Now, granted, I worked a job that was laborious and I didn't have any health insurance. Not until I left it for something else. But you see, the thing is, when I had my health care, there was a sense of relief. There was a chance that, if I got hurt, I could get that care and treatment. But then there comes the idea where reality ensues and that I better not get hurt too much because chances are my insurance company might not pay out as much to cover everything. It could be something essential that I need to keep me alive, but the chances are I won't be working alive to pay that off because I'll be sitting up there laid up as the fees keep going. So it's one of those money pits. At best, I wonder what the hell the damn GOP's problem is, really. I mean, it couldn't have been Obama, okay? Let's just kill that. Let's just not even think about Obama, because Obama's the figurehead, okay? There is something well within our political structure, something there that gave all these people an axe to grind. And it shows that they don't care. Their maturity is right there. These are the same people who can't even face their constituents. These are the same people. Yeah, they went ahead and escorted a whole bunch of them out there that are protesting because they don't want to lose their health care. Those people are there. They need that health care considering their jobs. Because, certain jobs, they don't give you packages anymore. I know Walmart, you have to really fight tooth and nail for a nice benefits package. You had to have been there a certain set of days to get it. Some of them do that 90-day rule, but some of them go beyond 90 days. And it's horrible. I can imagine being laid up in the hospital with an infection that could be cured, but my insurance will not pay for my treatment. So in the end, they're going to send me home, and then eventually I'm going to die from it. So because of technicalities, or because of something that I was unaware about, some people need to go to the doctor to really get checked out. They won't have the means to do it. And I mean average Joes, not the rich. I'm not thinking about them. Because, they're getting off scot-free. So if you have a certain amount, chances are you have your tax cut. You live in comfortably as you normally are. You don't even have to worry about a thing until your bottom line dies off. And then let's see where you are then. Because chances are your ass is probably going to have to go to work a lot more than they did. Think about it. We do have quite a big population, but when you go ahead and you commit this form of institutionalized genocide, I should say, there's a problem. And I'm sure some of y'all will probably sit out there and say, well, Jay, they're abusing the system. They're not going to work. They're going to live off it, blah, blah. And let me tell you something. Going to work is great. Going to work is essential. I'm all for going to work. But the thing is, when you get hit with something, a lot of good going to work is going to be when you have a terminal illness. A lot of good going to work is going to be when you have a car accident and you can't feel the lower half of your body. A lot of good going to work is going to be when you don't even have the means to go to work anymore. And finally, a lot of good work is going to do when you're dead. It's either healthcare or death. Now, that's all this is anymore. For the common man, Medicaid is a good thing because it could lead you into somewhere. You have the ability to get checked up. And then hopefully you'll get into a nice position where you can eventually get better health care. I mean, don't stay on the thing. Make a plan for yourself. Think about where your money's going to, where it's coming into. You ever think about that? You'll figure it out. You'll respect your wages, and you'll know what you'll be able to do at this point. And then if getting off of state assistance is a good idea for you, as it should be, then go ahead and get off of it and get a nice package for yourself. But let me tell you something. Those packages, they're ran by private pharmaceutical companies and medical companies so that they can make money off of you. That's about premiums too. That's why they're having the problem. They're the ones that complain about this stuff. See, some rich people, they don't mind being taxed because the money that they spend out, it's going to come back. It's going to come back any way they look at it. Like if you're a majority stockholder of, say, Apple or something like that, and chances are, you have a funding where you go ahead and you deposit into like another company and whatnot, or you you have control stake in that certain medical company like Aetna or Anthem, chances are you're probably going to make that money back because you're able to play the game in other markets. But you see, the problem is that some people see that little bit of money gone. It's just like how a lot of people in the common way, they see their gross pay for the first time and they realize they're not going to take as much as that money home with them. They look at their net and they're like, oh my God, they're taking all this out of my check. Eventually you'll get that back during tax day. And not only that, you want to be able to pay into your country, to keep that afloat and hope that they do their damn job. Now it goes like this: when you got an institution like what's run by the 45th retrograde and stuff, and they're not doing their job, yeah, you got something to bitch about. But you see, taxation is just a nightmare for everybody. But at best, you'd like to know that you were paying in for your health, wouldn't you? That you're able to get up and go complain? That you're able to get up and go make a difference? Like if you get hit with something, or like say a stray bullet hits you, and you get that treatment for it. You don't want to go to county hospital, do you? Hell has many addresses. And just hope that they clean their instruments when they're working on you. Because if you're comatose and they don't know who the hell you are, shit, you already dead. And you see these private companies here, they sit there, they complain about all this stuff because to them, you're not a patient. You're a customer. And as long as you're throwing around plenty of money and they can go ahead and charge it any way they want to with the price gouging, they're comfortable. And just say, go ahead, keep doing that, keep doing that. And you see, now that we got people that are going to lose access to affordable health care, since that secret bill, that was just stupid. I'm sorry. I know some of y'all went to middle school, right? Or not even middle school. Take it down a notch. Like elementary school, where there's like the cool kids group, and then there's the outcast group and all that sort of thing. All the cliques and stuff. That pretty much was exactly what the Republican Party was doing. That whole time, they sitting in there in a secret room, going ahead writing up this piece of crap. They should be working with the Democrats. There should be a government. They're acting like a bunch of kids. And this goes for the Democrats too. Sometimes they just act up. I'm sitting there looking at them. I'm like, hey guys, hey. Don't troll them so much. You're not in power of the Senate yet. You guys are there as representatives of your party within the Senate, but you're not in control yet. Don't act childish. And what happened? I mean, granted, they're not better than the GOP. Both parties got crap with them. But the thing about it is, you want somebody in these seats, these public seats, working for the public. This ain't no damn showboat ceremony. They're not celebrities to me. They shouldn't be celebrities to you. They should be working for all of us. They are our representatives because we don't do direct democracy. And could you imagine if we did? We wouldn't have time to go to work or anything else. It's a pipe dream at best. That's why we have these representatives. That's why we elect them. That's why, well, no, some of them keep holding on to that job. They got the best job security and the best healthcare in the world. Anytime they write this stuff up, it doesn't really affect them except in their pocket. Because they got the best healthcare system in the world. They do. Life's already not fair, but you all should know this by now. But the fact that they would go ahead and do these rollbacks to Medicaid, Planned Parenthood, and essential things, because, see, not everybody comes from the same income bracket. That's awful. Not everybody abuses the system. It's just like when they defund Meals on Wheels. Do you not know that the most people that benefit from Meals on Wheels are the elderly who don't work, can't work anymore, the disabled too? Like, these are people that have worked hard for their retirement, able to retire. As a matter of fact, how many of you out there are even thinking about retirement now that I think about it? Yeah, sometimes that seems like a pipe dream too, but if you're wasting all your money and other means, and then by complaining about something that's supposed to be there to keep you alive, or help keep you alive if you fall down, because we're all human and humanly flawed. I'm sure some of y'all haven't even thought about retirement, or thought about like how easy it is for you to get some affordable health care. And the thing is, this stuff really depends on your income bracket, like I said before, and chances are some people get hosed a lot more than other people. But those that are poor and those that are living paycheck to paycheck, they need something. Now, just because something indirectly affects you does not mean that it doesn't affect you. Believe me, this stuff that Donald Trump is trying to do, it occurs on levels. All right. So after healthcare comes income tax. The income tax comes. Remember that border wall idea still isn't dead. I'm sure that's still floating around there somewhere. And then comes regulating the inner cities. So I wonder exactly what he's trying to do, because if he's going to try to regulate the inner cities, right? And a lot of these police officers have been acquitted from committing acts of police brutality and harassing minorities, even though some of the minorities, due to circumstantial evidence, might have been persons of interest, as what people like to call them, aka suspects. But you see, the thing about it is, Philadelphia Castile, there was no reason for that cop to get off. He's going to sit there and say, like, weed made him fear for his life. Now, if there's one thing that is a big failure outside of a lot of things, and this is not just Obama, this is throughout the Reagan administration. War on drugs was the biggest failure ever. And they're trying to find ways to keep people from using medical marijuana. So that's going to take a rollback too. All this shit, all this stuff is coming from half-baked ideas from this administration, aka Incompetence Inc. Because it really isn't an administration. Anybody with half a cabinet like that filled with a bunch of nut jobs, no, that's not an administration. That is not the best people either. That's just failure at a high rank form. It's just, all that stuff is pretty damn scary. It's like the first time when he said he was going to repeal it in 61 days and then went ahead and told us that nobody knew that healthcare was hard. And it's like, yeah, we all did. We all did, because see, the thing about it is, if it was so simple, if we were all a part of the same equal income, maybe then it would probably be a little easier, but no, it doesn't work like that. It differs for everybody. I've been saying that throughout this whole episode. Just like anything else, and I'm letting you all know that. Diversity is a very beautiful thing, but at the end of the day, you gotta be open too. You gotta think of all walks of life, but everybody thinks about themselves first, and as they should, and then they try to see like what somebody else is going through, and to them, it probably wouldn't matter as much. It's like trying to recite your pain. Like, you would go ahead and say how painful something is for you, but it would be Tuesday for somebody else, and then the third person over there would be like this: oh man, what would you know about pain? I got testicular cancer. Now that is pain. But so is having a cyst on your left nut. And I know that's graphic for some of y'all, but hey, you're going to have to understand, these are conditions that you can't just necessarily treat on your own. Because if I know anything about a cyst, if you have something like that on your scrotum and you bust that shit, it is not pretty, and it's as painful as I just described it. And if you're eating, I apologize. But you shouldn't be listening to the J-Man Show when you're eating in the first place. Actually, listen to the J-Man Show when you're eating, because I might cook on this show sometime and might point out some of the recipes that I do. Going back into it though, some of y'all were mad because of the way that the ACA was implemented. The thing is, okay, by itself and Obama's original plan, it was beautiful, but it wasn't feasible because, you see, money makes things roll around in this world. Capitalism next to socialism. Oh yeah, by the way, there's that evil word again that y'all are afraid of. Socialism been here, okay? We are a mixed economy. Capitalism and socialism. You see, capitalism had to play a role in this. Pharmaceutical companies weren't going to pay out. Like, these certain companies needed to be pleased to get on board. So did certain representatives and senators. So when you look at it like, say, oh, this was just a Democratic plan, far from it. It was Republican based too. All sorts of taxation and everything else. Believe me, some of them people that you see there in the House of Representatives, they were involved in this thing too. Some of the Republicans that you saw in the Senate that weren't in power at the time, they were involved too. You can go ahead and throw stones as many times as you want to, but everybody played a role in this thing. And you see, the part is that most people were complaining about is how the website was unreliable, which it was. I know, I went through a lot of pain filling out stuff on there too. But I also know this: that penalty fine that they would impose on you, yeah, you had to pay a lot of that in. I know, that was painful. But you see, the also thing is, there's no such thing as a free lunch, so you had to pay in one way or another. Had you had signed up for the healthcare and gave it a shot and see how it would work with your income, you know, chances are you would be paying, yes, but you probably wouldn't be paying as many big buckets as that damn penalty fine. That's what a lot of people didn't like. They didn't like being forced and coerced into it. Like, it should be a choice. And you see, after a while, it's going to be no choice because this quote-unquote Trump care doesn't give a damn about anybody. it's going to hold a lot of progress that we've made back. So any sort of progress that we probably had throughout the last 8 years or so, because some of you managed to make it through both administrations of Bush and Obama well. Let's be real. Some of you have. Rare few, maybe. This doesn't bother you one way or another, does it? But for those of you that are the working stiffs like me, that are trying to build your own business, trying to do something better than work in retail or work in any of these jobs that seem like, you're not good at, so you want to go and aim for something that you are good at, right? Something you love. Yeah, it's just one of them things we have to deal with. It's one of them structures that will never be perfect. I mean, no matter how many times you look at, like, healthcare being thrown at us and stuff like that, and doctor bills and everything else, because think about it. You are expensive, but you got to realize this. Don't you think that you yourself are worth the bill on healthcare? Don't you think that you yourself is worth, like, the bills that you pay? We have to pay our bills to keep things functioning. Yeah, sure, we don't like them. Sure, like, when the credit card bill shows up, you don't feel like paying it because you worked hard. You had to deal with a bunch of crazy-ass people in order to have your income and in order to pay that certain situation off. And you have to start from the bottom again. But here's the thing. We all do. And if you take note of your means and you save by your means, like, say this, write a plan out for yourself. Okay, this weekend I'm not going to go out, but next weekend I'm going out. All right? After the next weekend that I went out, I take a look at what I have. Okay, I'm not going out this week. Things like that's being an adult. That's having responsibility and self-control, which I think those things have taken a significant role back because, if anything, Donald Trump will amplify the worst of your vices, and we have a lot of vices as humans. Like some things that we don't consider directly important to us now, but really affect us in a direct way. Yeah, we sit there and we complain, don't we? When we don't have it anymore, we always complain. But it's one of those things like healthcare. You want to be happy that it's there. You want to be happy that you're paying in to keep you alive. You want to know that you're able and eligible to get these things. And here they come under the guise of MAGA, which is more of a cult speak because that seems to be all this crazy stuff along with the colluding with Russia, all this MAGA, and it's lies. Because America's already great. America is already awesome. But now this man comes in here, says this stuff, brings out the worst in everybody, makes friends into enemies, makes families shattered, make all of us fragmented, and none of us want to communicate and associate with each other. And then in the end, it all comes down to money. How much money he's going to get. And he's going to get a significant amount of money because he's using back doors to get it. All of those areas, remember his travel bans. The areas that you should keep an eye on, he didn't. He has money tied up in there. Just like with this healthcare bill, you take a look at it, take a look at the senators and the politicians involved, and I guarantee every single one of them, it's blood money. People can die from this. With no healthcare and with no treatments and all the pre-existing conditions out there, nobody's going to really get the treatment that they need because they don't have the health care to help them, and they don't have the pay bracket in order to pay for certain things without health care. And even if that does happen, it's very rare amongst a lot of people. Like, I'm not going to get rich from J360, I don't think. I'll get financially well off. But the thing about it is, I still like to know my health care is there. And if I do get rich, I wouldn't mind getting taxed because the money's going to come back. And it's all on how you use it. Everybody's losing money through a variety of things. Number one being home and auto insurance. And you're going to really need a lot of help these days because I don't see things getting better with Trump. Alright? I see more or less that it's going to be a 10-yard fight getting to 2020. Fortunately, there's a lot of great films out there to lessen the blow and provide an escape. And hopefully I'll be able to come up with some means so I can go ahead and make some content to entertain all of you. Next to the J-Man Show and the Cyclone. Of course, the Power Play is going to be coming back soon. You'll have a lot of laughs at me on that one. But, it's just fractured times, man. And now they just want to pull away your health care. To add insult to injury, though, I didn't vote for any of this. But those that did vote for this, boy, did you get lied to. And those that are actually reveling in this and allowing themselves to be racist and stuff like that, well, there's a special place in hell for all of you, so I ain't worried about that. But this nonsense here, it's not going to help anybody. It's going to screw all of us. Soon enough, we won't even know what standards we have anymore. But I'll tell you this much. if you make your plan, like I'm making my plan, and you go ahead and you start figuring out a way to make things workable and not letting the Department of Justice and all this fear-mongering scare you, because there's nothing to be afraid of. See, with me, I know my death is coming. But the thing about it is, I've made peace. I had a good run. I made a lot of successes and a lot of errors, but the thing about it is, I got better. And I'm going to get better. And by the time I really make my utmost success, yeah, at that point, you really can't take anything away. And that's how I choose to live. Because you know what? I don't want to live being a racist or being a crybaby or being somebody that's sitting there, worried about grown folks doing wrong things. You see what I'm saying? These are people twice my age and maybe twice some of your ages out there doing this stuff. Regress to the point of acting like children, all of them, both political parties. And you can't help but wonder if it's the nature of their job that's gotten to them, or the fact that Donald Trump is up in there and amplified everybody's id to the point where there's no rationale anymore. And if there's one thing I know, I'm not going to feel safe with the 45th retrograde in there. Matter of fact, my safe zone died years ago before I started doing the show. So, all we have is pretty much just us sitting here. Some of us are scared. Some of us want to run to Canada. Some of us want to get the hell out of here and just never come back. Well, if you do that, make sure you pay attention to the economy, because this stuff is not just in American borders. This whole act of ignorance, I should say, is global now. So there's really nowhere you can go. So you might want to live it up. You might want to do the things that you wanted to achieve and do something that scares you every day and make your legacy grow. In addition to keeping an eye on what's going on with Donald Trump and company, so you know exactly when to stand up, call your congressman, and fight and do the right things within the diplomatic process. And that being said, I'm going to be taking 2 weeks off because I got some university stuff to go ahead and take care of. So I'm going to go ahead and chill out, handle that, and then in about midpoint July, I'll be back with some more episodes of the J-Man Show. I'm also going to do some power plays during those 2 weeks. So in a way, I'm just taking time off from the J-Man Show, but I'll still make time to play video games and entertain you guys then. Because, hey, I'm putting all this effort in to rebuild that show, so why not? This is all I have for you for episode 30 of the J-Man Show. And, it's been a pretty good run here. I love doing this series for all of you. I want to give shout-outs to the Potterin family for being supportive, along with other indie creatives out there. I couldn't have done this without you, and for a lot of all of you that have been paying attention to this show since day one, there's a special place in my heart for all of you. So this is just awesome. And keep in mind, now that I crossed the 30 threshold, I'm on the road to 40. I would go ahead and announce everybody off, but there's just too many of you guys. So I'm going to do it via Twitter. That's it for the J-Man Show today. Catch you all midpoint July. Don't worry, I'll always be around one way or another. I just won't be on the show. But until then, though, I want you all to take care, and I will see you laters.
The holidays start here at Baker's with a variety of options to celebrate traditions old and new. Whether you're making a traditional roasted turkey or spicy turkey tacos, your go-to shrimp cocktail, or your first Cajun risotto, Baker's has all the freshest ingredients to embrace your traditions. Baker's, fresh for everyone.
We've locked in low prices to help you save big store-wide. Look for the locked in low prices tags and enjoy extra savings throughout the store. Baker's, fresh for everyone.